तर काय म्हणता रहा, कैसे हैं आप लोग? आई होप सी बढ़िया ही होंगे। तो बात ऐसी है कि 6.4 का अपडेट हमारी गेम के अंदर आ चुका है और साथ ही में आ चुका है हमारे ग्रैंड मास्टर वार्का की स्टोरी लाइन, स्टोरी क्वेस्ट। तो आज हम इस वीडियो में वही स्टोरी लाइन और वही क्वेस्ट के बारे में बात करेंगे। तो चलिए देखते हैं कि हमारे ग्रैंड मास्टर की पर्सनल स्टोरी कैसी है। चलिए शुरू करते हैं, पर उससे पहले अगर आप चैनल पे नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन बेल हिट कीजिए, ताकि जैसे ही मैं ये वीडियोस लाऊं, नए वीडियोस लाता रहूं, वैसे ही आपको तुरंत पता चले। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। सो क्वेस्ट का नाम है टू दोज हु एम्बार्क ऑन द एक्सपीडिशन।
But I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of
long time no see, my friend. What's that?
I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
We just met recently? No, for a heart that always misses its friends, every second feels like an eternity. If so, come and catch up with me at Star Snatch Cliff. The wine is poured and the strings are already tuned. अच्छा, तो ये वेंटी की तरफ से हमें लेटर है। तो वेंटी कह रहा है कि उससे स्टार स्नैच क्लिफ पे मिलना है, जो कि मॉन्स्टैड में है। तो चलो मिलते हैं। वैसे भी मॉन्स्टैड में जाए हुए हमें बहुत वक्त हो चुका है, अगर हम वैसे स्टोरी के हिसाब से अगर बात करें तो। चलो।
It's from the tone deaf bard. Apparently he wants to hear all about our adventures in NOD-KRAI. Maybe we can get some tasty treats out of him in return. Come on, let's go to Star Snatch Cliff.
Yes, Paimon, let's go. भाई यार, जब भी गेम में ऐसा व्यू देखता हूँ ना, सच में मन करता है कि यार रियलिटी में भी जाऊँ और स्काई डाइविंग का मजा लूँ। वो भी एक सपना है लाइफ का। चलो, ओ ये हम तो गिर रहे हैं। चलो भाई, वरना अपनी पूरी ना खाम का मर जाएगी।
It's pouring out here. Oh wait, the water levels aren't rising, are they?
Oh yes, they are rising. You should go check it.
Welcome back, old friend. And how should I be addressing you these days? The honorary knight of MONDSTAD? The Tumaini of Natlan? Or the great hero of NOD-KRAI?
Well, you sure have your finger on the pulse. We've barely caught our breath since NOD-KRAI, but it sounds like you've already heard about what went down.
News travels fast on the wind. But before I can turn your tales into tunes, I need to hear them from the horse's mouth. My wine and my lyre are at the ready. So please, traveler, take a seat and tell me your tale. Amazing! Incredible! The Rapier of Solnari and the Doctor? Truly a tale for the ages! So, I'm guessing the wild hunt is a thing of the past now that you've defeated the Rapier of Solnari?
Seems that way. We were kind of focused on dealing with the Doctor, though.
Well, that's good to hear. Hey, now that the Northern Abyss calamity is finally resolved, VARKA must be getting ready for the triumphant return of his expedition, right? I haven't seen him in the longest time. He must have so many stories to share.
Right! Paimon was wondering about that too. He did call you Barbados, but weren't you still fast asleep back when he was in Mondstadt?
Let's call it half asleep. I was resting my eyes in the Thousand Winds Temple one day when I heard a commotion outside. It was a young knight who had journeyed there in search of trials and oracles after hearing some tall tales at the local tavern. In fact, all that awaited him were moss-covered walls and an angry ruin guard. But he seemed completely unfazed, laughing heartily as he sent the ruin guard's missiles flying off into the horizons.
Huh! They must have been making quite a racket if it was enough to wake up the tone-deaf bard.
Yeah, it sounded kinda like...
Hey! Is that all you've got? Oh, bring it on!
like that.
Giving up already? You're not half as tough as VARKA said.
A young knight of Favonius trekking out to the Thousand Winds Temple in search of adventure. Now there's a sight I haven't seen in a while.
A bard in green clothes. Does this mean... Oh, you're Venti? I was just wondering how I was gonna track you down.
Oh, so you were looking for the tone-deaf bard? Strange place to start your search.
Hold on. Blonde hair, white hair. You must be the honorary knight. And Paimon! The Grandmaster talks about you all the time. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lowen, Vice Captain of the 5th Company of the Knights of Favonius and a member of the Expeditionary Force. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh, so you're part of the expedition, huh? Right. So that's why Paimon's never seen you around in Mondstadt. Hey, wait a second. We never saw you in NOD-KRAI either.
That's probably because when the Wild Hunt was still running rampant, I spent most of my time out on my own, making mincemeat out of monsters. I barely went back to base at all. Then, once the Wild Hunt calmed down, I got sent back to Mondstadt. Mixed blessing, if you ask me. Sounds like I missed out on some serious action.
No wonder we never saw you while we were dealing with the doctor. So, why did VARKA send you back?
Deliver some letters. There's one for the Knights of Favonius, one for the church, another for the Dawn Winery, at least 10 of them in total.
Jeez, how many people has he sent to deliver his mail now? Mika, Inefa, Lowen. He should just hire a full-time mailman already. In fact, he's earned himself a new nickname. Let's go with... Sir Writes-A-Lot.
I'll have you know that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts. So, tone-deaf or not, I wear the title of Bard with pride. And I consider Sir Writes-A-Lot to be quite a compliment.
Wait, really? Darn it! Maybe Paimon should come up with some harder-hitting nicknames for these two.
Anyway, since this young man has come all the way to the Thousand Winds Temple looking for me, I assume he must have a letter for me too. Am I right?
You sure are, to use the Grandmaster's own words.
This one is for the bard in green clothes. These days, I think he goes by Venti. Doesn't really have an address as such. You could start by asking around in Mondstadt, or maybe try your luck at the Thousand Winds Temple.
I figured that since there was this punching bag here, ruin guard, I could get some practice in while I was at it. So, I came right here the second I got back to Mondstadt.
That VARKA is so slapdash sometimes. It's a good thing we happen to be nearby.
Oh, he also said to remind you to write back.
Nothing in particular. Just some idle chatter between two drinking buddies. But if I'm supposed to write back this time, I'll need some time to mull over my response. VARKA gave you a whole bunch of letters to deliver, right? Maybe you can head into MONDSTAD and deliver the rest of them first?
My thoughts exactly, assuming I can find the way. Hopefully the roads haven't changed too much since the pre-expedition days.
Well, why don't we have MONDSTAD's honorary knight escort this homeward-bound wanderer to the city? I'm sure some of the recipients of VARKA's letters will turn out to be old friends of yours, too.
Let's go! It's been a while since Paimon's done any guide work.
Thank you so much, honorary knight. And you, Miss Guide.
The Abyss. The Wild Hunt. Andreas. Get home safe, VARKA.
अरे बाप रे, ये कुछ ठीक नहीं लग रहा.
Why do my ears feel so hot all of a sudden? Is someone talking about me?
भाई ठीक से चेक कर, कोई कान के नीचे बजा के चला गया होगा.
Surely there's no way anyone found the secret stash of cash in my office. That would be terrible.
अच्छा.
Grandmaster, bad time to get distracted.
Watch out! Enemies approaching!
Huh? Oh, it's just a few stragglers. They're no real threat to us. This expedition is almost over. We just need to deal with these final few targets, and then we will make our triumphant return!
अरे वाह, वार्का के साथ खेलने को मिल रहा है. सही है, सही है. देखते हैं इसका गेम प्ले कैसा है.
Stormwind! On me!
Without the Rapier of Solnari to direct them, it seems like all that's left is their primal urge to destroy.
If this is all that the Wild Hunt can muster now, surely the Lightkeepers of NOD-KRAI will be able to deal with what's left.
Just like I thought. What we should be wary of now is...
Grandmaster, based on Lightkeeper intel and our own reconnaissance, one of the suspected targets should be just up ahead.
Good. You know the drill. Stay here and stand guard. Leave the rest to me.
Yes, Grandmaster!
अरे ये क्या है?
We meet again, Andreas.
What? Andreas, अपना weekly boss.
So, you've returned from Mondstadt. Don't you want to see what it looks like now? I was planning to take a look around there myself. Perhaps you could be my guide.
What's this? An echo from 1,000 years ago? Everything seems normal so far. Here's hoping I'm just overthinking things. There are 2 other places to check. Maybe this will all go smoothly after all. It's your turn, my friend. Come, Andreas!
Although, for returning to your old home, perhaps Andreas is a little too ostentatious. Might be better to go by...
Boreas.
What the what?
Huh?
Injustice. Corruption. Iniquity.
Is the surface world still as wretched and foul as ever? Answer me, heir to the knighthood of Boreas.
Looks like I'm not getting out of this without a fight.
Ooh, that's one way to start a quest.
That's where things stand with the expedition. The victors will be returning home P.S. I hope everyone's keeping up with their daily training. I'll be testing you all when I get back to make sure no one's regressed. P.P.S. I wrote individual letters for each and every one of you. Don't forget to write back.
That's all.
Everyone gets one? Wow! Sir Writes-A-Lot is really living up to his name.
I guess the Grand Master must have something specific to say to each of us. Even I got a letter, and I'm not a real knight yet.
Jean? Oh, yes. That's our Grandmaster for you.
By the way, anyone know where I can find the cavalry captain? I have a letter for him as well.
You mean Kaya? He said he was meeting a friend from the church at the Angel's Share. Allegedly for work. Said he was exchanging intel. But I'd say there's a 50-50 chance he's just there for a drink.
Paimon bets there'll be lots of familiar faces there. How about we deliver Kaya's letter? And these are there too as well!
Really? Oh, that would be a great help, thank you.
Our thanks to you too, Lowen. The other knights will help distribute the remaining letters. You've had a long journey. Please go get some rest.
Great, but I won't be resting just yet. I have one last letter to deliver to Wolvendom. This one, I was planning on delivering personally. I heard that another challenger recently passed Boreas' trial. Well, with any luck, that wolf might be willing to reveal himself to me, too.
Very well, but please remember to show respect to the local wolves.
I will. Goodbye.
जीन के साथ दाल में कुछ तो काला लग रहा है. ओके, अच्छा चलो, जीन से ही मिलना है हमें.
Please be quiet within the premises and refrain from making a racket.
Honorary Knight, you're still here? Is it that obvious?
Huh? But VARKA's coming back. The situation in NOD-KRAI is stable. Surely things are looking up.
True. From what you and Lowen have told me, the expedition has indeed accomplished its strategic objectives. It seems that MONDSTAD no longer faces any threat from the perils of the North, be they the Wild Hunt or the Doctor. And yet, for some reason, I can't help but recall something the Grandmaster said to me before he left.
If I don't make it back from this expedition, you'll have to assume the mantle of Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. If it comes to that, remember to train the next Knight of Boreas in my stead. I've planted some promising seeds in Mondstadt, but they still need time to grow. Some have yet to master the art of social interaction. Some don't yet understand that they too need protecting. And some, well, some might not even want to be a knight yet. What's wrong? Well, there's no need to frown. Until I return, I leave them in your care.
The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in Mondstadt's history. The first wandering knight to claim the title arrived in Mondstadt 1,000 years ago, along with his wolf companion. He was as free as the wind. He left no succession plan behind. Even his name was lost to history. The title of Boreas could have disappeared from Mondstadt just as he did, but he had an informal disciple, a knight named Ravenwood, who admired the Knight of Boreas greatly. Ravenwood's valor and swordsmanship earned him the Wolf Spirit's recognition. When the old aristocracy tried to regain power, Ravenwood came once more to Mondstadt's defense. From then on, the title of Knight of Boreas was passed down from generation to generation within the Knights of Favonius.
Wolf spirit? You mean that big blue wolf in Wolfenden?
Correct. As you may already know, the Wolf of the North is the surviving spirit of an ancient god, and the Knight of Boreas serves as an intermediary between him and humanity. Lupus Boreas, who had never known what it meant to love, came to understand it through the journey with his human companion. In the end, he chose to allow his power to become one with the land. This was once a well-known tale in Mondstadt, but these days, few people are aware that the starting point of the Wolf King's journey was not Mondstadt, but NOD-KRAI.
Huh?
What?
You don't seem surprised. Did you sense something in NOD-KRAI? Once again, you do us proud, Honorary Knight. The great Wolf King of the North came here from NOD-KRAI. Although he doesn't like to speak of his past. In fact, he rarely shows himself to people at all nowadays. As such, this tale can only be found deep within the Knights of Favonius library. Even among the Knights of Favonius, few are aware of it. The Grand Master didn't disclose any concrete objectives before departing on his expedition. I couldn't help but wonder whether it might somehow be related to NOD-KRAI's Wolf of the North. I kept my speculations to myself, however. Sharing them would only spread unwarranted suspicion toward the Four Winds among the people of Mondstadt. You experienced the turmoil caused by Duvall and the East Wind's actions for yourself. Surely you can understand my—
No wonder VARKA wasn't clear about his motives. Is that what he was worried about?
Very possibly. He was probably also reserving judgment. Having heard about your experiences in NOD-KRAI, I now suspect that the Grand Master hadn't yet ascertained the true identity of our enemy at that time. And as it turns out, the calamity born in the north wasn't an ancient god, but rather the Wild Hunt and the Doctor. I guess we were both jumping to conclusions. Yes, I completely agree. The tide can turn rapidly in times of battle. It's a leader's responsibility to prepare for every possible contingency. Even if his contingency plan never needs to be put into action, I'm sure the Grand Master is relieved to know that it's in place.
That turned into a pretty long conversation, huh? We should probably go deliver those letters to the Angel Share now.
Bring it!
Come in, take a seat.
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then drain out the water before adding the other ingredients.
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years at least. You'll have to offer something a little more substantial if you're serious about trading.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential information.
Kaya! Rosaria! D-Luke! Paimon!
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
A little liveliness never killed anyone. Traveler, Paimon, what brings you our way?
Please allow me to once again express my sincere condolences regarding your late father and the incident with Eric. We make absolutely no excuse for his crimes. I hope you will give some serious consideration to the question I asked you before I left, though I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ask by now. The Knights of Favonius...
From the look on your face, I'm guessing the Grand Master is still refusing to drop it?
He nags like an old man. It's hardly surprising.
Huh? Drop what? What's this about?
Nothing, really. Before leaving on the expedition, VARKA came here to chat with me over a drink. I failed to avoid him. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius, and I declined. He expressed his regret about everything that happened, and asked me to reconsider.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skipped a lot of details. There's clearly more to it.
Whatever details I chose to omit are in the past. Dragging them back up now serves no purpose.
You say that now, but back then, you couldn't let it go. You and the Knights of Favonius were constantly at odds.
I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then. But my answer remains unchanged. I'm not rejoining the Knights of Favonius. Both the Grandmaster and the acting Grandmaster are too upright and honorable. I can't see the shadows that lurk beneath them due to the size of the organization they lead. They need someone on the outside to keep watch vigilantly.
If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument. I actually don't disagree with the first part of what you said, but don't you think someone can keep tabs on things from the inside?
When you join an organization, you're bound by its rules, no matter how free it may seem on the surface.
You think so? Never mind the Knights. Have you honestly ever been bound by the rules of the Church?
Good question. Have you considered that maybe that's why I chose to join the Church and not the Knights to begin with?
Are they arguing or not? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, kind of like the contingencies Jean was talking about. The more ways they have to protect their home, the better. Huh?
What should I... Public order inside the city? Monster activity in the wild?
My reply...
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been subjected to all this tedious arguing. When I write back, I'll tell him to quit making trouble for other people.
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work. We just volunteered to do the last leg of the journey.
So you see what's really going on here? All three of us fell for that old rascal's scheme far too readily.
Huh? Scheme? What do you mean? Was VARKA lying in his letter then?
No. While I'm sure VARKA knows full well that Diluc would never agree to rejoin the Knights, I believe the sentiments he expressed were genuine, as was his offer to welcome Diluc back. There are people like Kaya and I, and then there are those who are true champions of justice to the core. Those people are the most susceptible to being driven to extremes by great upheaval. It's happened in MONDSTAD before. Not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. That'll really hit home for VARKA. And that's why his nagging is even more persistent than usual. Yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas had nearly been extinguished twice in history. The first was at its inception. The second was the case I was alluding to.
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this? Wait, And then we got caught up talking about the expedition, and we never got around to the second time.
I happened to hear about it from VARKA once when he was drinking and started yammering on. The second crisis in the Knights of Boreas lineage. It was 500 years ago. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and wolves, in practice, very few of them have been truly recognized by Lupus Boreas over the past millennium. Of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas, Ravenwood, the wolf pup Rostam, and VARKA himself. But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the mightiest Knight of Boreas who ever lived. He was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled. His name was Roland, the blood-stained knight.
Yikes! Bloodstained Knight? That sounds a little ominous.
Well, apparently his original title was the White Knight. But he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500 years ago, including his tutor and mentor, Rostam. The endless bloodshed stained his sword and armor a crimson as deep as black, transforming the White Knight into the Blood-Stained Knight. After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters, leaving MONDSTAD and the Knights of Favonius behind. To this day, no one knows his final whereabouts. It's hard to say whether the loss of an important figure in his life is what drove him to the point of obsession, or whether he was already too far gone to save. But had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always welcome him back, perhaps things would have turned out differently. So if you want my opinion, the reason why VARKA keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never say yes, is to let him know you're not alone. After all these years, he's still as persistent as ever. Just like how he used to be with me.
Huh. Turns out VARKA's a lot more thoughtful than he lets on. Paimon had the wrong idea about him. Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas business that Paimon isn't really getting. Wasn't Andreas a god in Mondstadt thousands of years in the past? If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? Plus, Paimon's super curious about what happened to Roland. That's a great idea! Jean said he hasn't been showing himself much lately, but he always seems happy to oblige whenever you show up. Let's go!
ओके आई थिंक फर्स्ट पार्ट में यहीं पे रोक दूंगा. सेकेंड यहाँ से आगे मैं सेकेंड पार्ट में डाल दूंगा. सो एनीवे, स्टिक टू द चैनल एंड स्टिक टू द सीरीज. आई थिंक ये सीरीज में पूरी एक साथ ही अपलोड कर दूंगा. सो इट डजेंट मैटर कि कितने पार्ट्स में इसे डिवाइड कर रहा हूँ. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली मैं इसको 4 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करूंगा, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि ये 2 घंटे का होगा. अगर हम कोई भी डायलॉग कट ना करें तो 2 घंटे का हो जाएगा. एनीवेज, see you in the next part.